Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. There we go. A little better, and then I have to look down. My name's Devin. Excuse me for my voice. I'm a little bit sick, so we'll see how long this Facebook Live goes for. You know, when you're sick, like your brain just doesn't work as well, and I don't know, like talking makes it worse. I don't know why, but I'm here and I'm ready for this, and I'm excited. So, oh, excuse those sniffles too. It's really not that bad. It's just like, yeah, okay. Okay, so we are just making sure we got everything going as it should. One thing's a little off on my end. Let's see here. Well, all right. We're going to roll with it. Okay, now it looks like it's coming through. If you do have issues, let me know. Sometimes technology is great, other times not so much. So, let's get started today. So, we've already had a couple a couple good questions coming in. So, let's get to them. And if I didn't introduce myself already, my name is Are we going here? My computer seems to be lagging out. All right, we're good. Yeah, like I put here in the comments. Where did that go? I'll pull it back up. And pin that comment. Say hi. Let me know. Let me know what behaviors you've been focusing on this past week. Get your questions in. Let's do this. I will announce it now. I'll let you know that we are doing a giveaway. I'm going to give it a few more minutes before I announce what that giveaway is for. But it is for a new product that we are launching tomorrow here at Pupford. Yeah, we're going to do a giveaway for that. To enter that giveaway, all you need to do is leave a comment, any comment. This giveaway will be just for people in the United States and Canada because it is a physical product and we can't at this time ship internationally. So keep that in mind. Leave a comment if you want to enter today's giveaway. Yeah, we've got people coming in saying hello to everyone else. We had someone watching from Philadelphia. Sorry for your Eagles. Patriots are just a better team, and I say that with great remorse. All right, so one of the good questions that I saw here in the beginning was from, where did it go? Oh no, where did it go? Someone had done it on the regular Facebook page. So just I'm using like a little tool that allows this stream to go onto the public Pupford Facebook page, into this community, onto our YouTube channel, even on Twitch for the people who are on there. So yes, you might see comments come through on other platforms or those types of things, or I might be asking questions from other platforms. So just so you are aware of that. Jess Lavaroni said, we started training at Petco this past week, and my dog was one of the smartest ones since I've been training him since the beginning using Zach's video. That is awesome. Well done. That is a great feeling too, right? When you go and you're around other dogs. It's not about it's not a competition, right? But it is nice when you go around other dogs and your dog's doing really well, and people are like, "Whoa, what have you been doing? How are you training your dog? How do you do it?" And then you say, "Download the Pupford app." Right? That's what everyone says. So one question that we had come in from Liz Shaw Plowman. This was on one of the posts earlier. She said, "Do you feed a puppy 2 or 3 times a day?" So that's a good question. For a lot of you with puppies, we do have that kind of general potty / feeding schedule that comes as part of the class. With a puppy, you want to go anywhere from 3 to 4 times a day, especially when they're really young. And it really will just depend on your dog. You'll want to talk to your vet as well. But in most cases, when they become about, I don't know, I would say, it depends on your dog. It depends on how they're growing. You want to talk to your vet. But a lot of times people around 6 months or so, they'll cut back to if they're going from 4, they'll go back to 3, or they'll go from 3 to 2. A lot of it's personal preference as well. A lot of it has to do with your schedule and those types of things. But above all, I would talk to your vet. Yeah. A lot of dogs, I think the real important thing there is to just stick to a consistent schedule, right? We talk about that a lot, about how dogs thrive off of consistency. And so sticking to a specific schedule and just staying with it. That'll be something that's very, very important to do. So, yes, that would be my thought there. Kathy McGeady Dugan said, I don't see anything. Is that the case? Everyone else can see something, it seems like. Let me just double check one other thing real quick. Sorry, sometimes technology, it's great. Other times, seems like you fight it. Looks like I'm going on this other page. I think we're good. If you aren't able to see something, please do let me know. She said that on Facebook. I'm seeing it on Facebook, so if you have more issues, let me know, and I can get it fixed. Hopefully. Maybe. Okay, so that's one question. Susan Koch asked, any tips for training a rescue? Ours is about 75 pounds and a year old, and seems that no one before us has ever worked with him. Yeah, so I mean, above all, like I would just stick with what you... So the concepts that we teach in 30 Day Perfect Pup and within the Pupford app, and you know what Zach teaches, the things that we talk about on our website, those principles are going to remain true. The principles are going to remain true whether it's a 5-year-old dog, a rescue, a new puppy, whatever it is, right? Like the general concepts. And so I would stick with that training schedule and, you know, working on things like leave it and look at me, and stay, sit, stay, or sit, you know, lay down, all those good things. You know, in general, with training a rescue, one thing you're just going to have to keep in mind is that, you know, when you're starting with a dog that's older, not only are you working to build good behaviors, you're working to overcome the bad ones as well. And so a lot of those you might need to go and, you know, search Zach's YouTube videos or, you know, different things just to find kind of more specific instances of, you know, my dog has this specific problem and I need to overcome it. But in general, like the principles, I know that within 30 Day Perfect Pup, we talk a lot about, you know, it shows a lot of puppies, but, you know, even in the video, even in the videos, you see older dogs on there. So the concepts are going to remain the same. So really the only extra tips I could give you, Susan, would be patient, and just recognize that, you know, like you said, that dog may have had no experience with proper training in the past. And, you know, that brings up an interesting point because, you know, one of the really big reasons that we created 30 Day Perfect Pup, the reason we partnered with Zach was, the stat's a titch old. It was done in the mid-90s, but I think it's probably pretty close to the same, that 96% of dogs that are relinquished to shelters have had zero formal obedience training. Again, 96%. And again, there's probably variance within that percentage, but it shouldn't come as a surprise, right? One of the biggest reasons that people rehome or give up their dogs to shelters is because of obedience problems. And so that's why we think that, not why we think that's why we believe so heavily in 30 Day Perfect Pup, and that's why we have invested all the time and the money and the effort on our end to create it and make it available for people, because, you know, the problem of the amount of dogs in shelters is a whole nother topic, but the more that we can do to make quality training available to the masses for free, the better. And with that being said, you know, we would love all of your help in spreading the word. I'm sure you do already, hopefully, but, you know, if you are meeting people who are thinking of getting a dog or just got a puppy, you know, tell them to download the Pupford app, tell them to sign up for the class. We really think that over time, this free resource is going to help so many people to keep their dogs in their forever home. And that's really what's important to us. So, good question, though. Sorry. I'm going to be taking, like, extra water breaks because, again, I'm, like, a titch under the weather. And I feel like when I talk, I'm, like, losing breath. Which, like, yeah, again, I'm just a little under the weather. But there you go. Okay. Let's get to some other questions here. Virginia Ramsey said, what can I do? I may have missed something there. Derek Overton said, "Love these lives. Pupford app is great, by the way. Awesome. So glad you're enjoying it. We've got some awesome new features that we want to roll out in the future that we're working on. Just takes time, right?" Okay, so another question that we had come in here was, oh, this is a good question. This isn't necessarily training related, but it kind of is. Stacy Paprocki said, "Is there any downside to free feeding?" And then Pam had said, "My breeder said to leave food out all the time to keep the puppy from gorging." Okay, so I'm 100% against free feeding. I'll start with that. A couple of reasons why you should not free feed. Number one, it can lead to dogs being overweight, which is a huge problem in today's dog world, right? Like, so many dogs are overweight, and the issues that come along with that are just numerous. You have joint problems, you have heart problems, a lot like humans, right? If we get above the weight that we should be, there's a host of health issues that come along with it, and it's the same thing for our dogs. So that's one reason not to free feed. Another reason not to free feed, this is kind of an interesting one, is just the general idea of like pests. If you're leaving food out, just out in the open, that's not in like a sealed container, it invites mice, it invites ants, those types of things. Another reason that you don't want to free feed is feeding time is a great opportunity to train. You can use it to, a lot of people will use their kibble or whatever they feed their dog as part of their training regiment. And so every time you're just letting your dog eat whenever they want, you're kind of creating this situation where they are probably a little bit less inclined to be interested in treats and to be less food motivated when you want to actually train. And so in a lot of instances, you can use their mealtime as a resource, as an opportunity to train them. One of the best times that I have found to train is when my dogs are hungry, right? Because they're a little bit more food motivated, and you can use their food or you can use treats because, and it increases that motivation because they're hungry. I'm going to drop a link in here. It's one of the blogs on our website. It might take me a second to pull it up here. But it's like a general puppy feeding schedule. It talks a little bit about Pupford food, which we don't actually carry anymore. We've discontinued that just because we're focusing more on treats and chews and training. But there is a part in this article that talks about that question exactly. Can I free feed my dog? Another reason, and it talks about it again in this blog, is that, keeping an eye on your dog's meal times keeping an eye on your dog's, their general appetite is one way to be aware of potential health problems, because sometimes a sign of health issues, or, for example, if they're having like pain in their mouth, like with their teeth or something, is like it can cause issues when they're eating. And so again, I'm just 100% against free feeding. I would go read that article though if you have more questions about that. Yeah. I don't know why that was weird. Okay. Yeah, so that's my thoughts for that. Someone else here, Trish Salerno, asked, "What can we do for separation anxiety?" So here's the thing: separation anxiety is a pretty complex topic, and I'll just be frank, it's not something that's I'm not qualified enough to talk about separation anxiety as a whole, and really like give you valuable info. But again, one thing we did is we partnered with a certified trainer who specializes in separation anxiety and built a course called Happily Home Alone Pup. And she goes through how to understand and recognize if it's actually separation anxiety, how to monitor your dog and figure out what they're doing while you're gone, and also how to take steps to overcome the separation anxiety. So I dropped that link in there as well, there for you, Trish. just because, like I said, separation anxiety, it's not something I'm necessarily qualified to give information on. Yeah, I would check out that course though if you're having issues with that. Okay. I'm going to get to one of the other questions that we had in the questions early. Oh, okay, Dinah. Dina? Am I saying that right? Last name Ray. Sorry if I said that wrong. So you asked this earlier and then you asked it here as well, which is awesome. So you said, I'm wanting to know about how often and how long sibling pups should be separated. My two are on the same schedule for everything and share a crate for sleeping. Yeah, this is a question that I've actually seen a lot coming up in the community and people asking about multiple dogs and, littermate syndrome and all that good stuff. Well, I don't know if it's good stuff, but littermate syndrome is, not great. But, yeah, this has been a question that has been coming up. And so here's my thoughts on it. I wouldn't necessarily say that there's like a minute or like X number of hours per day or different things like that, but you need to make sure that your dogs are capable of being separated from each other and still being okay, right? And every dog is different, every situation is different, but I would definitely 9 out of 10 people would probably recommend to you, and I would be with them, of you probably want to crate them separately, just because there will be instances where the other dog may be at the vet, or if they're getting spayed or neutered or whatever it might be, like they're going to be separated. And if they don't have that understanding of how to be comfortable in a crate on their own, you start running into a host of other problems when one of the other dogs is not present, right? So step number one is I would, sorry, again, I'm like a little bit sick. Step number one is I would crate them separately. That would be the first thing. I'm just going back to your question. And then on the same schedule for everything, like that's okay in essence, right? Like they should, it's okay if they eat their meals at the same time. It's okay if even sometimes you play with them at the same time. But when you're working on training, and you may have already found this on your own, you're going to have better luck training them separately. I wouldn't call it luck. You will just have a better experience training them separately versus together, just because when they're together, they're going to be distracting each other. One might be doing it correctly, the other one's not. You run into it can be tough to mark when one dog does something right and the other dog doesn't. You get them confused. Confusion is bad in dog training. So I would train them separately, at least for the first, honestly, 6 months. I know it's extra time and I know it takes a lot more work, but that's what I would do. And Zach has a great video on this, but essentially with when you have two dogs, what you want to do is you want to train them separately and get them to the point where you can, you'll know you're ready to start training them together when you can ask one dog to go in a down stay, and you can focus on the other dog completely while the other dog stays in a down stay. So you're still kind of training them separately, but training them at the same time. And then the next step after that would be full on training them together and having them be responsive to different cues, no matter if they're together or not. So yeah, those are a couple thoughts on, having two dogs, especially around the same age. Crate them separately. Oftentimes you might want to feed them in different areas so you can make sure that there's not going to be any type of resource guarding or anything like that with their food. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, so those are a couple of thoughts for that. Real quick before I get to another question, we've got a lot of good questions coming in. Douglas Halby said, "Thank you so much for having such a great community." Thanks, Doug. I really appreciate that. Honestly, it's, it's a lot of work and a lot of effort to make this community possible. And obviously, it wouldn't be possible without you guys. But we put a lot of time and effort into it. So I appreciate you being appreciative. And just a note on the community, there are so many of us in here. I think we're above 20. I know we're above 20,000. We might even be above 25,000 now. And that means there are a lot of comments. There are a lot of posts. There are a lot of, get 20,000 plus people in one area, and you're bound to have some conflict. You're bound to have some differing opinions. You're bound to have some arguments, fights, whatever you want to call them. And at Pupford, we do our best to really monitor this community. But I'll just be frank, like, we're a small team and it is a lot going on. And so we rely a lot on you guys. And just so you are aware, every single post and every single comment in this community has a little like 3-dot menu next to it in which you can click it and it'll allow you to report it to admins. So if you see anything that goes against the community guidelines, especially that being people being rude, people being offensive, or people using if people are using aversive methods, for example, choke chains, prong collars, e-collars, we don't stand for that in this community straight up. So like if you see that, report it to us and we'll take care of it. Because here's the thing. We want everyone to have a great time in this community. We want everyone to learn a lot. We want everyone to be able to interact and learn from each other and share different experiences and those types of things. But we are not down for people who are going to recommend things that are outdated and incorrect and aversive methods. So if you see it, please, please, please report it. It's so helpful for us here at Pupford if you can report those things. Because like I said, it's just, there's so much going on. It's impossible to keep track of all of it at once. I mean, we've got a lot of systems in place to do it as best we can, but yeah, it takes time. Yeah, okay. So before I get to another question, I'm going to throw this up here. So tomorrow we are launching a brand new product. I know we just launched a new product. This is pretty exciting. We've got a lot of cool things coming out here at Pupford. Last week we launched our chicken training treats. And this week we are launching what is called our reward line. So as you've seen on the website and we've talked about it, we have the train line, which would be like our actual training treats, the small treats, size for training sessions, really low calorie, really easy to just give it and then move on to the next behavior. And then we have the engage line, which would be like all the chews, the tendons, the antlers to help engage your dog's mind. And we are super excited tomorrow to be launching our reward line. And this is one of the bags for one of the new products. What's hilarious is I don't have the product with me because I gave it to my dogs and they just kept wanting it and it's gone now, which is honestly true, but hilarious at the same time. So we are launching this, our brand new reward line tomorrow. Well, it's actually on the site now, but we're kind of going to start talking more about it tomorrow. So what the reward line is it's a little bit bigger treats that are kind of meant for spoiling your dog. So they're not necessarily treats you're going to use during a training session. They're not going to be, something while you're working on the 30-day Perfect Pup class that you're going to be using specifically, but every time throughout the day, there's going to be, 3 to 5 times throughout the day where you're like, my dog's being great. I just want to give him like a attaboy, or, I really want to spoil him, or you came home and they didn't jump on you and you're like, let me go grab one out of the bag and just give them like a nice little treat that's going to last them longer than the small training treats. So yeah, we're launching a chicken jerky and a salmon jerky tomorrow. Let me show you what these are. Again, this is the only piece of the chicken jerky that I have left because my dogs ate it all. So this is the chicken jerky. Most of the pieces are going to be bigger than this. They're going to come to about like here or so. But yeah, it's just USDA grade A chicken breast, dehydrated. It's just chicken. That's all it is. Just chicken breast. And then the salmon, I wish I had a piece, but my dog Scout was like going crazy for the salmon. I didn't know she loved fish so much. But the salmon, I'll pull up a picture here actually. Here we go. So that's what the salmon's going to look like. The sizes will vary a little bit from what you see here on the screen. But there's going to be, it's going to have the skin with it as well as like some of the actual kind of meat there. And the reason that we did it like that, because there's a lot of other options out there that are just the skins. We really wanted to include this where it has the meat with it, just because it provides such a better nutrient profile, and you're going to get more of those omegas and you're going to get more of that protein for your dog. Again, those are just dehydrated. So these are they're actually on the site right now. And I'll show this picture as well. So that's the chicken jerky, just a couple bits of information. That's the size of what most of them are. So they're going to be available in both 4-ounce and yes, Taylor Woods, you saw salmon. Did I take that off? Oh, it's on there right now. Yeah. Oh no, I put chicken back on. There's salmon again. So yeah, this salmon jerky and the chicken jerky is actually live on the website right now. It comes in both a 4-ounce bag and an 8-ounce bag. This is the 4-ounce bag. Whoop, there it is. 8 ounces is just double the amount, right? And I'll tell you what, we've been, working on getting this product ready to launch and getting ready to be available to you guys. And it took, these bags are full. Let's just put it that way. Like when you buy one of these jerky bags, they are stuffed full. It's been an exciting week getting these ready. And I'll tell you what, like they're going to come with a lot of product in there. And as part of this launch deal for getting, we want as many people to try these out as possible. We're giving you the subscription pricing or the auto ship pricing on any orders, kind of like what we did with the chicken training treats. So it's 15% off all orders of the new jerky, whether that's the 8-ounce or the 4-ounce sizes. And those are going to range in price. I think the sale prices go anywhere from, like $8.49 up to like $16.20 or something like that. So you can get this bag for under $10. I can't ever tell if I'm on the screen. There we go. Yeah, so you can get this bag for under $10, and then the bigger bag is still under $20. That's normal price, and then it's even better on this discount for the launch price. And so what we're doing for this giveaway today, you could have guessed it, I bet. Any comment is going to enter you into today's giveaway, and that one winner is going to win a bag of this new jerky. I will be picking that winner based off of a comment. I don't know, maybe it'll be the wittiest comment, maybe it'll be the best comment, maybe it'll just be a random comment. Who knows? It'll probably be a random one, let's be honest. But those are those two new jerkies that we're launching, just because, we started to recognize with our own dogs and with the conversations we have in the community that, the training treats that we offer are great and we love them and they're perfect for training sessions. But, we recognize that as our dogs get older, we might train a little bit less. And, there's just instances where you want to give them like a heartier treat versus just, a small little one. So that's where we really think this reward line is going to be. We think you guys are going to love it. Like I said, my dogs have been, I didn't know my dog Scout loved salmon so much, but she does. Yes, check those out. I'm gonna drop you a link right now, and then we're gonna move on to another question. Threw it in there. Let's see, put it in here as well. Like I said, those are brand new. Oh, that image is wrong. Okay. Liz Shaw said it looks good enough to eat. Yeah. I mean, it's not quote unquote human grade, but it's good stuff. It really is a really high quality treat that we think you guys will like. Okay, so let's get back to some questions. Okay. Okay, sorry, just cleaning something up there. Okay, so Catherine Vickers, hopefully you're still on here. She said, "Is there such a thing as my dog liking other dogs? As my dog liking other dogs is wanting to play too much? I live in a city, and when we pass other dog walking, he will stop and lay down when he sees them and wait for them to get close and try to play when they are, not realizing most of them are on a walk and not trying to play." So I mean, it's a little bit of like a loaded question in a sense. Like, I don't think it's necessarily bad that your dog wants to play with dogs too much. Like, I would much rather be in a situation where your dog is friendly and wants to engage with other dogs and understands good behavior and how to play with other dogs, versus like being scared of dogs or reactive or aggressive. But at the same time, you do need to teach your dog proper behavior and how to greet dogs. Especially when both dogs are on a leash, it can make for that can just create situations where Sometimes it adds like stress to both dogs when they're on a leash and they're greeting each other. So it's something to be aware of. A lot of trainers and a lot of people are under the school of thought that they just don't like dogs greeting each other at all um, while on a leash. But I think at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to fully avoid that. And so I would, I would just make sure that you teach your dog that it's okay to greet dogs, but that needs to be on your permission, correct? So, you need to be in a situation where you can have your dog, you can get him into a sit stay and you can make contact and have communication with the other pet parent and say, hey, my dog's friendly. Can my dog greet your dog? And if they say no, then you're able to just redirect your dog away and walk away. And if they say yes, then you can teach your dog, to go on cue and say, okay, go ahead, or whatever your word is, and go greet the other dog. So I don't think it's bad that your dog is overly friendly and likes to, play with other dogs. It's just working on those behaviors. So, so that you can have your dog be controlled in those situations and only go and greet the other dog when given permission. That's really the important concept there. Okay. Okay, this is a question from the post earlier. Sasha Reiser said, why does a 9-week-old puppy hump our legs, and how do we get him to stop? Yeah, the classic puppy humping question. We've all seen it. I think the important thing to remember here is that it like is a natural behavior. And so one thing you want to do to start with is I would just focus on redirection. And so, if it does happen, treat it a lot like biting or chewing, where you redirect, get them to do another behavior, and then reinforce the correct behavior. That's really how you're going to approach it. It's just like you would biting or chewing. It's an unwanted behavior in your mind, and you're going to redirect and reaffirm when the behavior does not happen and when they go to something else. So, okay. I had a couple more questions coming in here. Wally is 7 months old. So Lucy Crawford said, Wally is 7 months old and only nips me now when he knows I'm getting ready to go out with him. Oh, go out without him. Any suggestions to stop this behavior? Again, this is kind of like, I don't want to say a canned answer, but it is in a sense of, if you're having issues with the biting, you would treat it like you would any other biting, that if it does occur, you want to redirect, and you want to, you can have, I hate to use the word consequences because it has a negative connotation, but, if your dog bites you, maybe it's a timeout, or maybe it's putting them in a different room, separating yourself from them, not giving them the attention. One thing there as well, when it happens, when you're about, like when you're about to go out, sometimes it's just not giving them that opportunity, right? Such a big part of what we talk about with training is, controlling the environment, and part of that is just not allowing your dog the opportunity. So, sometimes you have to adjust yourself a little bit, and maybe it's, putting distance between yourself and your dog when you're going out. Not one big thing, and this is just a general concept I want to talk about for a second, is, not playing up our hellos and our goodbyes. Not playing up our hellos and our goodbyes. I know, like, we get sad when we leave, but just making our hellos and our goodbyes much more simple, and not making it this, like, big ordeal. Not saying you're doing that necessarily, but it's just something to keep in mind that can help make the whole going and coming back situation a little bit more easy. But I would just continue to work on redirection, because 7 months is still like a puppy. So just continue to work like you would on redirection with any other type of biting. Okay, Letty Leon said, diarrhea. What can I give my 4-month-old puppy for diarrhea? We've been struggling on and off for almost 2 weeks now. Go to your vet. Yep, that's all I'm going to say for that. Because I'm not a vet. You should go to your vet, especially if it's been going on for that long, for sure. Catherine Vicker says working on sit stay impulse control is a something. Yes, it is a something. I think I know what you wanted to say there, but you didn't, and that's okay because I got you. Yeah, impulse control is tough. It's takes a lot of time and practice, and it's something that you've got to continually work on. So, is its own beast. Yeah, it's a beast for sure. Okay, so Alina, yeah. Again, just going back to that one because I know people are going to want to respond to the 4-month-old puppy with struggling with diarrhea. Just go to your vet. Like, don't take the advice from people on this thread. Don't take the advice from people in the community. Don't go to your vet. Period, because it can be a sign of bigger problems. And this is something that we are pretty serious about here in the community as well, that we just don't allow medical questions. I'm not calling you out, sorry. Like, I really don't want to come off that way. Just because the reason being is if you prolong and you just take advice from anybody, right? And they give you these things that maybe worked for their dog, but they could cause problems for your dog. Or there could be a longer standing issue or a larger issue at hand that if you're not going to your vet, could get out of hand. And could cause larger problems. So I say that strictly like out of just like wanting the best for your dog, which is like taking them to the vet and getting it fixed. Okay. Okay. So Alina Meneses said, I have a 7-year-old dog that is horrible on a leash and a 5-month-old. How do I manage to train them both so the little one doesn't learn the bad behavior? Don't walk them together. Can't walk them together at all until you have been able to overcome this, because if you walk them together, then 100% your 5-month-old dog will pick up on your 7-year-old dog's bad behaviors. And then what will happen as well is you will be fighting both dogs. I hate to use that word, but like that's what it is, right? Like when your dog's pulling, like it feels like a struggle. And so if you're struggling with both of them, you can't give either of them the proper attention that they need, and then it just all kind of communication and training goes out the window. So you're going to have to just train them separately. And in regards to specific leash training tips, number one is I would go rewatch the 30-day perfect pup videos, or in the Pupford app, the leash walking videos about how to teach leash training. And I would not underestimate the power of starting inside. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes we make as pup parents. Again, not singling you out, just saying this from my own personal experience and from hundreds and hundreds of thousands of, not hundreds and hundreds of thousands, but hundreds and thousands of pup parents that we've talked to in this community and had interactions with, and people that, I know personally. It's if you go straight to taking your dogs outside for walks without really trying to teach proper behavior inside first, you're going to have a heck of a time. I will tell you that much, because the outside world is so distracting for our dogs. The outside world is there's so much going on. It's a little bit too much for us to expect our dogs to just understand what we want from them beforehand. So just like you wouldn't go out and teach stay out in the middle of a busy intersection right off the bat, right? Like you would start inside the house, and then you would get it really good inside the house, and then you would add distractions inside the house, and then you would take it to just like maybe your front yard or your backyard, and then maybe just in the driveway, and then maybe just near your house on the sidewalk, and then you go out into real world environments. So that principle is so important for leash training. I can't like stress that enough. So that's just something that I would recommend there. Okay. Okay. Jaqueline Green said, is small dog syndrome a real thing? I think I saw a comment someone posted in the group mentioning it. Flash is 4 months old and 7 pounds. He's my first little dog, and if picking him up is not a good thing, I want to stop it before it becomes or causes real problems. When is it okay to pick up a smaller dog? There's a really good thread in the community about picking up a dog, right? Like picking up smaller dogs, and how, like you said, like you're definitely aware that it's not, you don't want to get into this habit of just picking them up whenever because it can startle them and those types of things. So what a lot of people do is that they will teach it on cue, right? So they will, again, approaching it very similar to something that they might not be comfortable with, like taking a bath or getting their nails trimmed or brushing their teeth, is, taking it slow, and then kind of creating a cue and a behavior around like pickup or something like that, where they're aware that it's going to happen and they're okay with it. And as you're doing, you're positively reinforcing it and making it a positive experience. I'm not going to dive too far down into that, but definitely something to, yeah, I don't know, the whole like the verbiage too that we throw around as pup parents, like things like small dog syndrome and those types of things, like whether it's like real or not, right? Like I think you just need to like focus more on focus on behaviors and focus on what your dog does or doesn't understand, and like focus on them specifically versus like what's causing this. Like, is this a syndrome? Is this because they're this breed? You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to do those things because sometimes it can give us insight as to like why they might be acting a certain way. But above all, it's like just focus on the commands, the behaviors, the things that are like they're really understanding or not. Okay, like I said, I'm a little under the weather, so this live's not going to be as long. But I'm going to just kind of flash on the screen here one more time. Leave any comments, enter today's giveaway. So there's the chicken jerky that it's live on the site right now. We're kind of launching it tomorrow. And then the salmon jerky as well. I dropped a link in this thread as well that you can check out. One winner, USA and Canada only, is going to have the opportunity to win a bag of those treats. Yeah, so I'm going to announce the winner of that giveaway in just a minute here. So be sure to get your comments in if you want to be a winner. Okay, so one more question is really all that I have time for. Okay, so this was a question from one of the posts earlier. Olivia Ailman said, "Why is my puppy peeing in his crate? We have the divider in it, so it isn't too big." So yeah, this is another one of those things that I just kind of want to have a little bit more of like a conversation about, in regards to crate training and dogs peeing in their crate or going poop in their crate or whatever it may be, and thinking that a divider or crate itself is going to solve it. The crate is just a tool to contain. How do I word it? A crate is just a tool to potentially like contain. It's to contain the environment. It's not like a training tool, right? Like, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not like an end all. It's not a solution. It's not, okay, I put my dog in the crate, they're not going to pee in there. And there's this kind of like, honestly, like I think it's just this kind of like false mindset and false philosophy of like, oh, dogs don't ever pee in their crate because they're den animals or that type of thing, which like whether there's truth to that or not, like, because I think there is, right, in regards to like dogs liking to have their own safe space and liking to have like a den area, that doesn't mean they're never gonna pee in there. Like it's more about setting your dog up for success. Again, the crate is just a tool to control the environment, but you should still, if you have a puppy, you should be taking them out every 20 to 30 minutes if they're a really, really young puppy. And then as they age and their bladder gets bigger and they're able to hold it a little bit longer, you can give them a little bit more time. But yeah, that's just one thing to think about there. And this is a similar question from Erica Haas. Posted a question above. Our 5-month-old gold noodle is still having accidents in the apartment, even though we try to take her out every 1 to 2 hours and 25 to 30 minutes after she eats. We've taught her to ring the bell and say, let's go potty, but she still doesn't tell us she needs to go. So similar to like the whole crate thing and how, a crate is just a tool. Even potty bells are just a tool. Like I'm maybe in the minority here, and it might not be a very like popular opinion, but I don't really like potty bells in the beginning. I just don't. Like I don't think it's, and here's why. I think we get into this mindset of we're using potty bells. They're supposed to tell us when they're going to go, and we get overly reliant on those things, and then we get a little bit more relaxed in our timetables. And I'm not saying this is what's happening to you, Erica. I'm just sorry to you, Erica. I'm just kind of saying in general, like I would much rather focus on like the first 9 months, just focusing on continuing to build up positive situations and correct moments where our dogs do go potty outside. Again, 5 months old is still young. Some dogs, it takes a little bit longer to get the potty training down. A lot of that too will depend on, if you got them from a breeder, like what was happening in that situation. So yeah, I would just continue to work on like being very, very, very strict with your scheduling, and taking her out more often than not, because every situation in which your dog does pee in the house, reinforcement happens and they start to think that that's okay, because them relieving themselves in the house in itself is a reinforcer. And so you said you're taking them out every 1 to 2 hours, taking her out every 1 to 2 hours. I would shorten it down. I would, if you need to, like if there's still accidents that are occurring, have it be every 30 to 45 minutes. And then just making, when the correct experience does happen, when they do go potty outside, making it just like an awesome experience and giving lots of treats and praise and reinforcing and that type of thing. So that's just me. That's my opinion. I would cut down on your timetables. Your dog probably needs to go out more often than you think. And I would not put too much focus on ringing the bell. And I would just focus on setting up your dog for positive experiences, because you can, once your dog actually is potty trained, it's much easier and very quick to introduce the potty bells and teach your dog how to use them to tell you that they need to go to the bathroom. That's way easier than trying to do it as you're going along and like overly relying on it, and then setting up bad instances where you have digressions in your dog's potty training. So that's just my 2 cents. That's what I think is yeah. Jess Lavaroni said, should I be leaving water in the crate if leaving my puppy alone for a few hours? He doesn't have too many accidents anymore if he is still crated because he eats everything. Yeah, like when your dog's a little bit older, you can leave some water for them. But again, it just comes back to, if you have a puppy and you're still working on, I don't know why I said puppy so weird. If you have a puppy and you're still working on potty training, like I would focus more on, if you're still working on the potty training, leaving water in the crate, it just adds in like an extra variable, that like it's harder to predict when they're going to need to go to the bathroom. And then you again are setting up potential instances where they might go to the bathroom in the crate. Okay, I have time for one more question before I announce today's giveaway winner. So Nicole Kupaszewski, I think I got that right. Kupaszewski, maybe. Do you think crate training is necessary? Yeah, so generally I think it's a really good idea. We are proponents of crate training here at Pupford. Zach and us as a team, we included it in 30 Day Perfect Pup because we think it is a powerful tool and we think it is a very, very positive thing for so many dogs. And it's a great way, like I said, to be able to control the environment and to keep your dog from destroying, keep your dog from getting into trouble and different things like that. But on the flip side, like I can't look at you and say, yes, every dog should be crate trained, because here's the thing is every dog is different. Every situation is different. Specific countries have laws against crate training and those types of things. So I think in most instances, yeah, it's a good thing to have. It's a good skill for your dog to understand, even if you don't use it all the time, because there's going to be instances where, you take your dog to the vet, they're going to keep them in a crate. Or when you take your dog, sometimes like if they need to be boarded or, those types of things, or grooming even from time to time, they're going to need to learn how to be in a crate and be comfortable. So yeah, I think crate training is a great behavior to teach your dog. But obviously, there's situations where some dogs don't do well with it, or, especially if you have a rescue and they were left in a crate for, hours and hours and hours on end by their previous owner or something like that. Like it can be more problematic than positive. But again, it's all about concepts, right? The concept of crate training is controlling our dog's environment, number one. Number two is giving them a safe spot and a place that they can feel like is their home. So you can accomplish that without a crate. It's just most people rely on the crate because it's a valuable tool and it works best for them. But some people use like playpen areas. It's the same concept, right? Similar concept. Some people will use a specific room in their house that is completely puppy proof. So it all just comes back to what works for you and your family and your situation. But yeah, that's my general idea on that. So I'm gonna real quick pick our winner here. I just kind of scrolled through randomly and picked a winner. Give me just 1 second here. I don't think this person has been a winner before. So just before I do that, I'm going to just put this up on the screen again. These are our brand new chicken jerky. And then I'll show the salmon jerky in a second. They're part of our brand new reward line. Whoop, there it is. Meaning by reward, they're a little bit bigger treats. They're for spoiling your dog. You're not necessarily going to use them during dedicated training sessions, but it's just kind of a nice way to spoil your dog, give them a good attaboy, and, they're nice healthy treats. These are both single ingredient, just chicken in the chicken jerky and just salmon in the salmon jerky, dehydrated, super healthy, still low calorie. Most of the pieces are going to be anywhere from about 10 to 20 calories. So it's not something you're going to give your dog 25 of each day like you would the training treats, or whatever, like a high number, but it's more of 3 to 5 times a day or a couple times a day, whatever you want to do. But yeah, there's no chemicals, preservatives, hormones, any of that stuff in any of this, because that stuff sucks. So it's like, obviously, like, we have our training treats that have like natural antioxidants, but like we don't, in any of our products, we don't include sugar or fillers or junk. Like, holy cow. I'm just gonna rant a little bit here. Won't be long, I promise. But man, you would be surprised if you haven't already. If you go on Amazon or Chewy or whatever and look at some of the treats that are popular and look at some of the ingredients, holy cow, it's disgusting. Like, honestly, I cannot describe it any other way than it's disgusting. There's sugar, there's molasses, there's maple syrup, there's chicken treats where like chicken's the 12th ingredient. Like, I just don't get that. Like, why are other companies doing that? I don't get it. That's it. That's my rant. Like, those other just some of the other treats are disgusting. Like, I can't even believe that like companies think that is okay to put those types of things in products that we are going to feed to our dogs. Like, I don't get it. So again, I'll get off my soapbox, but that's why at Pupford, sorry. That's why at Pupford we keep all of our treats very, very simple. Sorry. And there's the salmon jerky as well. Okay, so I'm going to put up our winner here for the giveaway. And the giveaway winner is Derek Overton. Sorry, my voice is going crazy. Wow. I don't know what I ate. Also, my space bar's not working. So, there you go. Derek Overton, you are the winner. Congratulations. Wow, sorry. Something's like caught in my throat and I can't really talk, so maybe this is, I wish I'd go a little longer. Like I said, I'm a little under the weather. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Something stuck in my throat. But thank you so much for coming on this live. We really, really, really enjoy doing these. Enjoyed meeting you all via the internet and having conversations and getting to know each other and helping each other out. Thank you for being a part of this community. Again, today's giveaway winner is Derek Overton. These new chicken and salmon jerky treats are available on the website. Do go check them out. The comment is pinned for the link to go check those out. But thank you so much, guys, and have a great rest of your night. See you guys.